What's up? What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, everyone. What's up, little baby? Good afternoon, everyone. We are back. Okay, we are back. It has been a minute.
Yeah.
And it's been a minute, but we are back. Listen. You would think we had more time because of the COVID, but listen.
Right. I mean, I've been here, ish.
Ish, and I've been here ish. So together we can hit ish, and as you can see, we still missing one. Okay.
Yeah, where's the possible one? We two in the possible right now.
Right, we two in the possible right now. I don't know where Mink is, child.
What's up, man?
She'll get here when she get here, I guess, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, she just texted me. Hold on.
Oh, wait.
Okay. She had an emergency come up, so I don't think she's gonna be able to make it through. She had a little situation. So it's all good. It's all good. See, that's what happens. Life happens.
True that.
You know, it is what it is. Hey, Xavier, where you been all week? I feel like I missed you this week.
Right.
Hey, Carolyn. What's up? Hey, Brandon. What's up, boo? So good afternoon to everybody. Happy Saturday to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. How you doing? What you got going on over there, Surface?
Well, actually, I have a party this afternoon or this evening.
Okay. You got a party this evening?
Yeah, somebody want to throw an 80s party. They wanted me to do it, so how's it going?
Okay, so what? I mean, clearly I was around in the 80s. Is this like a 80s hip hop? Is this like 80s R&B? Is this like 80s all of just what? I mean, is it gonna be white 80s? Because we had some good white music in the 80s. I hate to say it like that. I know that sounds racist for me saying like that. I don't know other way. But we had some real good white music.
Pop music is what you're trying to say?
Is that what I'm supposed to say?
Pop music.
We had some good pop music. So
I know white boys was hip back then in the 80s, man.
I liked the big boy bands, the big hair bands. I liked Poison and Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses and Motley Crue and I liked a lot of that too.
As did I was in front of my MTV. Hey, Teddy. He's in the bushes. All right. But yeah, I don't know.
I done sent the wrong text to the wrong person. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't. To answer your question, I don't know. She just said 80s. I'm like, so we just gonna explore the 80s? You just gonna? She was like, nah, you can just go ahead and run through whatever. I was like, okay.
Well, unlike when I had my 90s party and I told the DJ I wanted to play 80s and 90s, mainly, I said I want mainly 80s and 90s hip hop. And he played like 70s R&B for like the first 30, 40 minutes, I was told. Because I wasn't there. I was fashionably. Right. Yes, but I literally, when I got there, that was after I said my hellos, like literally they was like, yo, dude been paying like Ring My Bell. And, I was like, okay, and don't get me wrong. I was cool with the music, but that ain't what I asked for. And I literally had to go into the DJ and be like, he was like, I'm waiting for you to get here, sir. You don't need to wait
for.
That's not what right. Because I was gonna be late. Like, I think we have enough music in 2 decades of music that you could have played for 30 minutes. I think you would have been good. Like I think for 2 decades of hits, I think we would have been all right.
4 hours should be easy to cover.
Right. Okay. El Teddy wants the record to reflect that Face is even more attractive in person.
Well, thank you, El Teddy.
Actually, El Teddy. I invited El Teddy to come on.
I appreciate that, brother. I like it.
Meeting Face, because El Teddy met Face and Don Juan Pablo last weekend, and I was gonna let him come up, but he's taking care of some business too. He can't come on right now, but he got a chance to meet the folks a little bit. And with COVID, we were limited to just sort of having the club in the basement, but it was cool. It was cool.
In my studio audience that evening.
Right, we was the studio audience. We clowned El Teddy a little bit because he was trying to put chasers onto the liquor.
Ice and us. Oh Lord.
Right. He wanted soda.
Can't come over my house and expect I'm just gonna have ice inside.
Soda
That damn straight liquor.
Chasers and stuff, honey. Yes, honey. Hey, E Starkey, what's up, boo? So, the list we were going to talk about, we have now I've talked about this, separately, but we haven't talked about this collectively. What you got for the T.I. and Tiny? Are you up to date on it? Because I know you really don't follow this kind of stuff. Are you up to date with
T.I. and Tiny? About the lawsuit? You talking about like the
I'ma slip him a Mickey.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, when I saw that, I immediately got up. I'm like, what's happening in the Grand Hustle household? Let me go research this and see what's cracking.
So I'm wrong. The text, I thought the text was from Mink. The text was from El Teddy. Mink is on her way. El Teddy is the one that's out handling some business. I apologize. I looked at my phone and I didn't pay attention to who sent the daggone text. So Mink is on her way. Okay, Mink is here. Give me the thumbs up when you're ready, girl. She said she was having a little technical difficulties.
My bad, El Teddy. Just ice. People brought chases. That's cool. I stand corrected. Ice was enough for me to be fine. But let's be clear.
The people that brought chases, we don't know them. We don't.
And some of them are your people, weren't they?
No.
I'm just playing.
Well, actually, no. That was El Teddy people that brought them chases.
Just saying.
El Teddy people. Well, Mink, honey, listen, Mink.
Look, we just found Mink. What you talking about, El Teddy?
I was gonna say we ain't know where Mink was, honey. Mink was so deep in quarantine and listen.
But we had
straight. Yeah, Xavier. Mm-hmm.
We had to do a wellness call to make sure Mink was okay.
Okay. Mink, good. Let us know when you're ready. She's still okay. You ready? Okay. Bring it on, Mink. Bring it on, Mink. Hey, girl.
Hey, party people. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. We here. Take your time. You all right?
I'm all right. Hey, everybody.
Well, I'm glad you did make it.
I had a joke. I was going to say I was running from the El Popos, but that wasn't it.
Listen.
Oh. It's like...
that's a good name for Carolyn. Sexpionage. The T.I. and Tiny sexpionage situation. Honey.
Oof. Reading it, I was like, wow, that's these allegations is deep.
So let me start from the beginning for those of you who are not following it or whatever. So first of all, let's be clear. Rumors have always existed that T.I. and Tiny dibble and dabble into the threesomes and things of that nature. And my thing is this: what you do within the confines of your marriage is your business, as long as you're doing it in the correct way. So that's how I feel about that. But here's what the problem is: they've been accused of having threesomes with underage women. They've also been accused of slipping Mickeys to women, to have them pass out or be high, and then engaging in
throwing up uncontrollably in public. Yeah.
Yeah. And so a few weeks ago, a woman who had some dealings with them in the past, with public, with some of these accusations. I ain't gonna get into the minutia of why she did it, what she was trying to accomplish, whatever. She said it, and it has now picked up steam. We have actual victims who have come out and said, "This is what happened to me." They have obtained attorneys to ask for a formal investigation.
There's just one, and they've sent to the I guess to the law enforcement.
It's two different attorneys as far as I know. We got Lisa Bloom, and then you got the Tyrone attorney down in Atlanta.
Right. So
he has the majority of the victims.
Yeah, they're looking, I guess, in California and in Atlanta. They've sent statements to law enforcement and everything else.
Yeah. One of the stories I heard, they say they have
willing to say something. So
listen, one of the stories I heard, they say they have it down to the CIAA. Now, my HBCU people know what the CIAA is. The CIAA is the party of all parties that happens around March Madness for the conference, the HBCU conference that's down in that area. And for many years it was in Charlotte. No, for many years it was in Raleigh, and then it moved to Charlotte. And they're saying that this took place down in Charlotte. So this had to be pretty recent because it's only been in Charlotte for the last 4 or 5 years, I think. Before that, it was in Raleigh every year. And then it got moved to Charlotte maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was in Charlotte. So that's not that long ago. I'm going to say this. So it has picked up steam. And now, from my understanding, there isn't a formal investigation into what's happened. Allegedly, T.I. and Tiny's attorney reached out to Tyrone to offer a settlement. They're saying T.I. and Tiny is saying that never happened. Tyrone is saying it did, but that his clients don't want money. They want them held accountable. So it's kind of getting ugly. Their TV show, the T.I. Tiny Family Hustle, has been suspended.
Yep.
And T.I. has been fired from the Ant-Man 3 movie, from my understanding. Yep. So it is getting real. What do you guys feel about it?
Okay, I'm a little disappointed. I like Tiny in Ant-Man. That's just so off topic, but I do. I just feel as though it's one of those things where if they did, of course, they need to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. But I just hate when so many times, we prosecute people in the public eye, like people who are victims or posing as victims don't lie. It could be a situation where they've had these threesome, foursomes, or whatever, and then when people don't get whatever they're looking for out of it, be it money or recognition or a continued threesome, it lashes out. And I'm not saying they're perfect because they're celebrities, but again, if they are here drugging people and coercing people and having underage minors and stuff, having sex with them, then lock their asses up together.
Faith.
Ooh.
Shut up.
I feel the same way, actually. That's after I read everything, it kind of leaves you in the middle of the road. Like if all this is true, then I guess we won't be seeing them for a minute, if at all ever again. But at the same time, it's like, if you sit here and just kind of just read it, it's like, why? It sounds like this also could be somebody decided they messed up the church money, and now they want extra, or you know what I mean. And but the only reason it could be either way, and it's because it's been happening apparently for over a decade, and I think in this allegation, where it's going to be tricky is that other people were involved. It's not just T.I. and Tiny. They also included like part of their entourage and people that are close to them that also was, I guess, supposedly a part of this whole thing.
And some other names and some other celebrity names have been thrown around as well at this point.
Like in my head, it's kind of like it's kind of hard for me to believe that T.I. and Tiny themselves couldn't get people to just to agree or even offer to do some freaky stuff with them just because they're T.I. and Tiny. Now everybody else that's involved, like the crew, they not T.I. and Tiny.
Right. So, exactly. Other celebrity names have been thrown around: Ludacris, Candy, Nelly, Lil Wayne. Other names are starting to float around too.
It could have been, it could have easily been somebody that's associated with them, and it's like, well, if you're going to try to get something out of this, or whether it be money, justice, or ruin a reputation, you had to start at the top anyway. So,
yeah, I'm gonna say this. So my thing is this: all of this is alleged. I have to say that, I have to say it's all allegedly. But I just think that where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just think that where there's smoke, there's fire. We're now up to, I don't want to exaggerate the number, but I think I heard 30 women.
Right, Xavier.
Some of them might be lying, but all of them ain't. Hey, catch me out. Some of them might be lying, but all of them ain't. You know, that's my opinion. Now, that's my opinion.
Now, and I agree with
my
you.
opinion is somewhat down. It don't have to be to the extent. Like, there's no way I'm gonna believe that they're doing regular missionary whatever sex. I'm pretty sure there's do some freaky stuff on the side. Now, it's just a matter of are these allegations true, or is it somebody didn't get something that they wanted?
No, this isn't similar to the Tupac situation at all. At all.
See, my thing is, I have a tendency to agree with the first 1 to maybe 5 people. But when you get in their 20s and the 30s, I think some people went along to see if they can get a payday.
Right.
I think some people
that's what I'm saying.
try to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, and it's Atlanta. The hot social millionaire scene in Atlanta is kind of I almost say a small circle, but you know who's in there, you know what's going on for the most part, even though we may not know as a nation, just like, Hollywood got its own little vine, DC got its own little vine, Atlanta has its vine.
Rob Kardashian tried to tell y'all 5-6 years ago, because he said that T.I. and Tiny paid Black China when she was underage for a threesome. Now, I don't remember him saying that, that they drugged her, but I do remember him saying that she was underage when it happened. Now, again, I'm not saying every story is true. I'm just saying that I feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. And I absolutely feel like this is going to get worse before it gets better for them, because I read something the other day, an article the other day where they were questioning, well, what's getting ready to happen to the children? Let's remember, they still have at least 3 minors under their roof. What happens? I mean, because let's be clear, if this were the average Black couple, because I'm going to say Black because it may not be white, but the average Black couple, I feel like somebody would have called CPS by now.
Yeah, CPS, but if it was CPS would have been called before they even got to the second and third youngest baby.
Right. I just feel like if you're a criminal investigation for, some of these things, and I'm not saying that CPS hasn't been called, and I'm not saying that CPS should remove the kids. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm just saying I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better for them.
And it's all a matter of how much Tiny willing to have their life exposed to the public.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm honestly, part of me is like, I'm so tired of celebrities falling into these things. I don't even want to call them trappings, making these same bad decisions. Like, how many NFL players do we have to hear are broke before they realize to hold on to their money? How many couples do we have to hear, or celebrities do we have to hear? Stop pulling everyday average Joes into your life, because you hang around people who got less to lose than you do. No matter what, you're always going to be a loser at the end. Even if T.I. and Tiny don't get arrested, don't lose the kids, don't whatever, the fact that part of your personal life that you didn't want to reveal to the public is out there is a loss for you. The fact that, he's not an Ant-Man 3, the fact that, endorsements or whatever are going to slow down, or opportunities are going to close because you allowed your personal life out there because you were dealing with people who don't have the same mindset or have less to lose than you. It's like, when you going to learn your lesson?
Now that's the thing right there. People who don't have as much to lose to you, you better put that word out there. People who do not have as much to lose as you better put a word. All right, I see what you're saying, Xavier. I'm with you now, baby. I'm with you now. My thing is this. Here's my thing. If you want to have threesomes, I don't care. Like, I think that's fine. I think that's your business. The part is, why do you feel the need? Like, you are T.I. and Tiny. You shouldn't have to drug people. Like, there are people who are probably willingly. I mean, let's just listen. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just go on and be real with it. You are T.I. and Tiny. One of the young ladies said she was at the club partying. They invited her into VIP. Let's be clear. The average person, you get, I'm talking about you in the club, you party, and T.I. and Tiny invite you into VIP. They proposition you. Either you with it or you not. And if you're not with it, guess what? It is 500 other women in that club, and somebody might be with it. So if she ain't with it, thank you for coming through. Have a good day. Escort your ass out of VIP. Let's go on to our second choice. Let's go on to our third choice. And let's be clear about the whole drugging thing. let's just be real about it. There are plenty of women out here who will be like, yeah, let me get that Molly. Yeah, let me pop that Molly. Like, there are people who do it all the time. So I don't know. Again, do I think that some of these stories are true? I do. I just feel like, why?
Because you know what, it could be an issue of, and you're right. It's probably women right now. I mean, hell, after R. Kelly got arrested, there were women lying by the courthouse, you know,
there's
trying
still
to get
women. There's a whole R. Kelly is innocent community on YouTube. Like,
yeah,
there are still plenty of them. You know,
yeah, but it could be a situation of where, as you know, like T.I. and Tiny. Okay, people might be willing to sleep with T.I., Tiny, and both. But it could be some things. They might be 51 shades of freaky. You know, maybe another level they want to take it to. Maybe. That people might be like, maybe not. But at that point, they already hot and ready. So let me go ahead and slip something to this man or this woman to make them a little bit more comfortable so we can do what we want. It could be an issue of more so not the sexual side of it, but the control side of it.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this because like I said, I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
It's gonna get a lot worse.
So we'll definitely keep an eye on it.
Because there could be some goats and rabbits and eagle eggs up in there. We don't know what they doing up in their life.
Did she say goats and eagle eggs?
She did.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't, I didn't mishear that.
The thing is, like y'all know I love Michael Jackson, but the thing about it is, when you live in a world, especially after years of nobody ever telling you no, of what they're exposed to behind that Hollywood light. You know, we don't know what they get to see or experience or do. And then when they want to come back to some type of normalcy, they find these average, everyday people. And they think, oh, well, let me go and get this person because me them $10,000 to have sex with a goat. Hey, they need $10,000 to pay their rent. They good, but $10,000 to me is, for him that's a Louis Vuitton or a Fendi outfit or some shoes or something. So we don't know what they got going on behind their door and what they think that other people should because of their celebrity.
And it's only weird to us because we're not around there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's strange, maybe strange to us. Maybe a random Tuesday.
Right.
Exactly. I mean,
right. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you think years ago when Mama Michael Johnson came out, when he first came out HIV positive, and he was like, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 women in the bed wasn't enough for me. Dude, for real?
Well, remember Will Chamberlain? Remember his book? He talked about how many women, I forgot the number now, but like over 1,000 women he said he had sex with, something crazy like that.
It was 20,000 women, but that was over the course of his sexual history. Magic Johnson was saying he had 10 women.
Listen, Mink, when that book came out, that man was in his 50s. You do the math. 20,000 women.
Get it. But what I'm saying is, Magic Johnson said he has 6, 7, 8 women in bed with him at one time. You ain't but one man. So how because I think for me it's like once you get to that level, what's the next level?
Like in my head, that sounds like work.
And then what's the next level?
That sounds like what?
That sounds like work. That's not even like on the only side that's enjoyable.
Actually, to me it sounds like the exact opposite. It sounds like he was doing minimal work. You got 7 women in bed pleasing you in all the different ways you like to be pleased by watching. To me, it sounds the exact opposite. I feel like he won't doing no work.
This is how exactly.
But the thing is, like, okay, at what point do you get to the point where, okay, so this is now I've had this. What's next? And then what's next? And then what's next? So again, when you live that type of lifestyle, this motherfucker don't leave my
all right.
If you live in a world where nobody tells you no, and then no matter what your request is, it's always met. You're always looking for that next high. And when it comes to sex and sexuality and things like that, we don't, again, eagle eggs, pigeon feathers, we don't know what the hell they in there doing with a peacock.
I just want to know, what do people do with eagle eggs sexually that Mink, that we don't know? That's all I want to know. Is this
and how do we advance?
Is that a code word for a sex toy?
But I'm trying to figure out how you getting eagle eggs. I'm pretty sure eagles have feathers. How do we go from eagle eggs to pigeons?
Right.
Like, is really throwing me off.
You been on Bedroom Candy website? Is that a new sex toy she's selling or something?
I mean,
I'm just wondering. Bab has a good point. It's never about access. It's look at how handsome Darren Sharper was. No, we understand that as well. Like rape is always about power. It's not about, it's not about sex. Is about power and dominance. So I get that part, but I'm just saying, like, again, if you want to be geeky in your sex life, you ain't the first couple. You ain't gonna be the last couple. You damn sure ain't the first celebrity couple. But I mean, I got friends, everyday friends that them and they husband do threesomes on a regular basis. So,
the PO says hi.
What up, PO?
PO.
Aww. Face got to. I mean, El Teddy got to meet the PO too. Didn't El Teddy meet the PO?
Yes.
Yeah, El Teddy met the PO.
It's hard to get in my house and not meet the PO.
I'm saying she called the PO for a reason.
Right. Just saying.
Right. She called the PO for a reason. Well, since we on that topic, let's just go on and Tootsie Roll ourselves right on up to New York. And let's talk about the Andrew, right, Tootsie Roll. Let's make that Tootsie Roll, right on up to Andrew Cuomo. Now, there are two separate issues with Andrew Cuomo. We got to tackle the political, and then we'll tackle the other stuff. So the political side of this, what Andrew Cuomo is, he is being accused of fudging numbers as it relates to COVID patients.
Yeah.
That hospitals forced elderly patients to go back to the nursing homes where a lot of them passed away. My understanding is that they were forced out prematurely, and that then they fudged the numbers
by 50% to make it look good.
Sleep.
Yeah.
So I believe it.
I mean,
but here's the question: are we mad about it? Not about them forcing people out the hospital. That part, not about that part. But are we mad about the fudging of the numbers? So Mink says yes. Why?
Yeah. Because the thing is, in a pandemic, we want to keep an accurate account, an accurate number of what's going on so we can properly handle the situation. And when you're doing any type of statistical research and data collection, you throwing off one number throws off the whole entire research and ability to treat people. So in his mind, he might have been trying to think he was going to do something good for his people, but it's one of those short-term fix, long-term miseries, because look at the hole that you've dug. And just, if the numbers were high, the numbers were high. The numbers were low, the numbers were low. Let the numbers speak for themselves. Because again, you trying to cover for one particular area or one state, you throw off for everybody else that's handling the same global pandemic.
Right. How about you, Face? How you feel about that?
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's like, are you doing this to try to stay on TV more? Because he was on TV almost every day.
Right. No, every day. He did a press conference, and because it was New York, and because New York was like actually that really pretty much the epicenter, like New York and I think LA, like the numbers per
now. So now it's like what an area that's supposed to be good was actually bad. And now him being, in a political office, I don't think now the time we should be questioning whether we're getting the correct information or not.
My question now, here's my question to the panel, and here's my question to the chat. Is Cuomo any better than Donald Trump? If we're gonna be mad at Donald Trump for not being honest with the American public and not sharing information that he knew about COVID and how serious COVID was and what the numbers were looking like, and he was like, "Oh no, everything is good. Oh no, we're moving back forward. We're moving in a better direction." I understand the difference as far as he's the governor of a state and the president of the United States, but I'm talking about as far as the sin, as far as what he did. Is he any better?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I think a sin is a sin.
No, when you reach that point and you're on that platform, he's no better, and it's wrong all the way around. You already know my opinion. I speak on it is that, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, who we have in office now, especially Congress, we should have scorched the earth to start over. Like, that's where I'm at. I don't give a damn what party they're from.
Let me tell you what I'm gonna be honest with you. I am more and more in favor of term limits.
Yeah.
I am more and more in favor of term limits. I used to not be that big on term limits. Not that I think I just was indifferent to it. I am more and more in favor of term limits. And somebody said something on El Teddy did a live the other day on politics, and one of his name is Jason. He pops in my chat from time to time as well. Jason said something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing because I remember the exact quote, but he said something to the effect of a 70-something-year-old man can't do anything for me. And I'm paraphrasing it because that's not the exact wording, but the sentiment basically was these ages, they're so out of touch sometimes with where we are on the ground, with reality. And that doesn't mean that you can't empathize. That doesn't mean that you can't understand. But I like Joe Biden. I'm not one of those people that voted for Joe Biden just because I didn't want to vote for Trump. I like Joe Biden, and I'm optimistic about what Joe Biden can do for the next 4 years, because I don't think he's going to be a 2-term president, but I'm optimistic about what he can do in the next 4 years. But at this point, I am like, we just got to figure out a way to galvanize the voting, because it's not that people aren't running. Some people are running. They are not being successful.
Right. First of all, I think a lot of people vote not to have it. The same name's been on there for their entire life. So people still, all right, well, that's the one we normally check. Names have been on there. And I feel, I'm with you, term limits. It should be in place. The more and more I start paying attention, the more and more, like, term limits should be there. Because now I feel, especially in today's social media, TV, cable, blah, blah, internet, all of that, they've been around for so long and been in that position for so long and been kind of literally taken care of and been able to adjust their finances or whatever. They feel they're celebrities now. They're not any politicians anymore.
Right. And
they want to live that lifestyle now.
Right. And I even think about my profession. When we had to go virtual, I mean, we literally had teachers who and administrators. It wasn't just teachers. We literally had administrators who couldn't cut and paste. We literally had administrators who could not log into Zoom meetings. Like, I'm not exaggerating. And it wasn't just teachers, it was administrators. And so when you think about the technology and you think just the different needs of the people, the fact that we literally had 5 Democrats that flipped to the other side against voting for a $15 an hour minimum wage, and I'm thinking, well, how out of touch are you that you feel like that's not a lot, that's a lot of damn money? Like, at $15 an hour, most people still can't pay their bills without a second job. I mean, it ain't like you're gonna be balling because you now got a raise and you making $15 an hour.
The single family household been dead for decades.
Right.
The single income earning household has been dead for a long time.
Absolutely.
If you're not making,
the fact that there are
people, figures, it's not happening.
The fact that there are couples who it is more cost efficient for one of them to not work at all rather than pay for daycare. Like, the fact that daycare is gonna cost you more than a paycheck, that's a problem.
Right.
That's on many levels. That takes us down a rabbit hole I ain't going down today. But the fact that
I'm about to say, I can speak on it. I was so glad my kids would go to school.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? You make more money than I make. So you quit your job because daycare is going to equal, I'm just throwing a number out, y'all. Daycare is going to be $800 a week, and your paycheck really only bringing in $900 a week. Even when you double that by 2 weeks, okay, that's a decent paycheck that you bring it home. But the fact that $800 of that is going to go to daycare, you might as well stay home, and we just figure out a way to, you can do something from home, or we cut some corners somewhere. So the fact that people are really acting like that $15 an hour is going to be balling, I'm gonna need you to stop. What you
described literally is how one of my coworkers decided that his wife wasn't gonna work. That's literally what he told me.
I mean, a lot of couples we've heard stories, and then society want to judge if it's the man. This society want to judge you a stay-at-home dad. Yeah, because my wife make more money than me, and you know what I'm saying. Right, exactly, Volvo, exactly. So, again, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
That's exactly what I said. When my first interview to the daycare, I'm like, are we paying rent somewhere? Like, that's the question that I asked.
But the thing about it is, again, it's a continuation of the haves and the have-nots. That's what we're going to keep in this country. I think they're slowly trying to go back and eradicate the middle class. So in a world where $15 seems like a lot to pay somebody because they don't want to pay their workers. But as we all know, everybody can go to work every day. We know that, you can't pay rent, you can't buy a house, you can't pay a car, you can't pay daycare. My daughter is 22 years old. And I remember when she was in daycare, we were paying, talking 20 years ago, we were paying, I want to say over $1,000 a month in daycare. And it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. I couldn't imagine now having a small child in daycare, what people are actually paying. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I had a conversation with a friend who said, she was saying how they had a whole earned income credit. And she was saying how, well, y'all get $1,500 back or $25 back for your child. I'm like, I spent $4,000 in summer camp alone. And it might have been $7,000 in summer camp alone. That didn't include the aftercare. That don't include clothes. I'm like, it really is a whole, they want to keep people there.
I think the plan to really eradicate the middle class started happening in the 80s.
Right. So Bab,
I think it happened in the 70s.
Well, I want to address what you said, Bab. It would not have been an immediate increase. The $15 would have been gradual. Like I know DC did it a few years ago, and it was a gradual increase. They weren't going to automatically make everybody raise their wages to $15. And they were, I understand the concern about smaller businesses and that we are in the middle of a pandemic. Like I get all of that, yeah. But that is why the government put the PPP loans in place and they changed the criteria for that. That is why it is gradual. So there were things put in place that would have helped these businesses. And I do know that businesses are struggling and all of that, but I'm sorry, at a certain point, we got to figure out a way to fix it. And ain't nobody gonna make no money if people don't have money to spend. That's just it.
Right. That's my point. If I don't have money to go out here, they talk about businesses are failing. Businesses are failing because people aren't shopping. People aren't shopping because they don't have money to spend. If I had to sit here and decide between, paying my utilities and buying food, I'm not deciding over going shopping and eating. I'm deciding to keep my lights on. I keep my lights on to keep the food in my refrigerator good. But I need money to buy fruit.
Right. Yeah. So
and I need money to buy food.
Right. So somehow we done got off on that.
Yeah. So it's like people out here making hard.
Yeah. So let's get back. We'll get back to Congress in a minute, honey, because it's been on my phone that they finally passed the stimulus package. We're gonna get back to that in a second. But let's finish the other side of the Andrew Cuomo controversy. Now, I'm split on how I feel about the Andrew Cuomo situation because on the political side, I am angry and I'm not happy with what he did as far as the numbers are concerned. And I do feel like there should be a consequence. I'm not saying that I feel like he should be impeached, but I do feel like there should be a consequence because
he's getting more oversight, as they say, on what he's doing.
When we are looking at these numbers to make serious decisions as it relates to opening up our schools and opening up businesses and restaurants, and when we're making serious decisions and we're looking at the numbers, we have to rely on the numbers to be accurate. And if the numbers aren't accurate, then decisions that we're making are not in the best interest of everybody. So on that side, I 100% boom. Now we have the other side where there's some women who have come out and they have accused Andrew Cuomo of being sexually inappropriate, making unwanted advances towards them. And there have been 2 or 3 women. Let me say this. Andrew Cuomo is single and he is an eligible bachelor. And from what I've read now, and y'all can correct me in the chat or on the panel, from what I've read, it sounds like he has maybe flirted a little too aggressively or have come on to these women and it made them uncomfortable. We're not talking about he cornered them in a bed, in a bedroom, or he invited them back to their house.
That's what I was trying to find out. Because you say sexual harassment, that covers a lot of things. So that's what I was trying to find out. What did he do? And what was going to make a decision? Because as I was reading what was happening with him, I kind of skimmed through the sexual harassment part. it went straight to the political side. Because it's kind of like, all right, it sounded like he did some creepy stuff. They weren't attracted to him. Now they, and they complained and moved on. That's how it sounded.
Well,
like, you put it out there,
I know one.
Kept moving.
The lady that he was talking to at the wedding, and he said, they have a picture of him grabbing her face, and he's like, well, I asked her, could I kiss her, because that's how we do things. That's how I do things, whatever. And see, and this is the part that we need to understand is just because you like somebody, you're flirting, you're whatever, it's still about, you just don't, I'm sorry, white men with money, you just don't walk up to women and grab them and touch them and kiss them because that's what you like and that's what you're used to. The BS needs to stop. This is not protocol. This is not normal. This is not how we work.
In that situation, she should have been able to literally punch him right in the face and like, that's how I do things. When you get too close to me, that's exactly how I feel about it.
Yeah, and I've had to elbow a couple guys, and it's like, come on now, like we need to stop this culture of I'm a man, so it's okay for me. I'm attracted to a woman, so it's okay for me to advance her and however I feel, and my advancement is more excused the more money I have.
And I'm gonna say this, and this might come off very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Controversial?
Probably. This is the way I feel about it. I don't think that men have carte blanche. I'm not saying that. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that it's okay for a man to touch a woman, come up on a woman, however he chooses to. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not even going to say, oh, he's Italian and that's what Italians do. Because I think you have to be more conscious of that. And one, in this society with Me Too and everything. Two, because you're a public figure. So you have to be you can't, like if you're at a family function and everybody knows everybody and y'all are kissing each other and all of that, okay, fine. Yes, maybe he felt that way because he was at a wedding and he may have felt like, well, I'm at a friend's wedding and it is what it is. But I feel like let me say this. I just don't feel like everything is DEFCON 30. And maybe that came off very callous when I said that, but I just don't feel like it's DEFCON 30.
I agree.
I had a guy to try to touch me inappropriately in church at my age now. He didn't think it was inappropriate, but I did. So my thing is, again, my feelings, first and foremost, I think your feelings are valid. If you feel like you were violated, DEFCON 30, then fucking go to DEFCON 30. Because again, I think all too often as women especially, we're told that when something happens that we're uncomfortable to kind of suppress it down, remain a lady, don't make a scene, don't do this. And then men continue to go on, practice the same habits, maybe not with you, but with the next person. And it's like, why? Because we don't feel as though we can say something. So a lot of times we don't say something. Me personally, I don't want anybody don't know touch me. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care what your job title is. I don't care what your money. Andrew Cuomo out of the wedding, and he come up and he tried to kiss me. Honestly, on a calm level, he get the elbow. That's about the nicest I can give to him, because I don't care who you are, how you feel. You feel like you don't want somebody that you don't know or a familiar face and just kiss them. It's always inappropriate.
First of all, that's not harassment. That is actually assault.
Because if I walk up to him and tell him, let me get your credit card right quick so I can go buy something.
Here, why I agree with Classic in a way. When it comes to I work for, it might as well have had a picture of sexual harassment, if there is such a thing, at the receptionist desk, because it seemed like everybody was inappropriate, male or female. And
listen, I told y'all before that
it was kind of like, and the matter of who got reported was who did something inappropriate to somebody and they didn't like them. That's how it seemed, how people ended up at HR. Somebody did something inappropriate to them that they did not like.
Right. And that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not talking about the inappropriateness, the person. They didn't like that person.
Right. And I'm not saying women should feel, I absolutely don't want women to feel silence. Absolutely. But I feel like that's what I want women to do. I want you to use your power. So in that moment, when he was leaning in for a kiss, bruh, I don't know you like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want women to use their voice. I want women to take their power. And I feel like, I'm not saying that she was right or wrong, because if she was uncomfortable and it made her feel uncomfortable, she has every right to her feelings. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like, I just feel like that is what we need to do more. Elbow their asses. Tell him no. Like, lean back. Like, I've had people lean in. Whoa, player, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, for me, that's the power I want women to take back. It's okay in that moment to say no. I don't give a fuck if he the governor, because let's be clear, it wasn't a work environment. You wasn't in no fear of losing your job. Now that's where the harassment, like if it was work and he called her into his office and okay, now Andrew, we in a whole nother conversation now. But at a wedding where people are drinking and having a good time and he get a little happy and he lean in, bruh. Because you wouldn't let, I don't know. And I know that's not a popular opinion, and I know people probably feel some kind of way about the fact that I'm saying this, but I just feel like I need us to stop acting like we are so weak.
That is not what he was doing at the wedding. The kiss, that is not harassment. That is assault. That is literally sexual assault. So that's like using total wrong word for that situation. Like harassment. Hey, that's like, dirty joke, rude little comments, stuff like that. Not getting out the way fast enough. People walking towards you, like standing too close to somebody.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong, and that's okay if I'm wrong. But
that's how it was put in the news. Like they put it all under harassment.
No, I get it.
They took the lesser of what it was.
And I understand the difference. I get it. I understand what you're saying.
So
and again, I'm not saying that if that woman felt uncomfortable and she in that moment, I cannot tell her what she should and should not feel. And I never want to feel like I don't have another woman's back. So I don't want it to come off that way. I just want us to start responding differently. I mean, that's just like I've had men offer to make me their concubine at work. One of my coworkers was like, "Yo, I can take care of you. I can keep you. I can do this and I can do that." And this guy was like, he was a teacher, but he was also like a diplomat. He wasn't from here in America, and like he rubbed elbows with the embassy for his country, and he really was like that guy.
Yeah,
and he was like, right. And I understand that. I get it that was harassment. And I know it was a different time because yes, I'm old as hell. I know it was a different time, but it never once occurred to me to take him to HR. I was like, not interested. Thank you. Appreciate it. And I went on by my day. And you know what he did? He left me the fuck alone. Now, had he persisted, had it become an issue, yes. Going to the next level, and yes, I'm going to involve some other people because I told you no, and I'm moving on. But I just feel like why he wrong for shooting his shot? Why is he wrong for thinking that I'm attractive and saying, "Listen, I ain't looking for no wife, but I like you. I can take care of you. What's good?" That was like my first and second year teacher, so I'm like 21, 22. He was like in his 60s. You know what I'm saying? So it clearly would have been that, but I just don't think he was out for shooting his shot.
They're trying to get him turned around in the break room. That's what's up.
And listen, you probably know him. He probably was one of your teachers. I'll tell you offline who it was.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Oh, y'all didn't know that Faith went to the school that I taught at, and so a lot of the same teachers were still there when I got there.
What subject?
Right. So I don't know. Again, y'all, I don't want y'all to take it as blaming the woman because I'm not blaming the woman at all. I just want us to respond differently. And I want us to me, that's taking your power. But I don't know. But that's right,
But
Xavier.
the thing is, where I'm at with it is,
hold on, Mink. That's right, Xavier. If he had persisted, it's harassment. But what I'm saying is now, men, it's like one and done. If a man shoots his shot, like Face was just saying, it's automatic. It's automatic. And that's why I don't know. And that's why I'm not on this whole cancel culture, because I just feel like, I mean, Andrew Cuomo. Okay, go ahead, Mink. Go ahead. Mink, can you hear me?
I thought I'm looking at the comments. So that is like, if your position of power. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Yeah, my thing is, if you're in a position of power, you have to be careful who you shoot your shot to. I am not above shooting shot, but the thing is, there is a difference between flirting and being inappropriate, and that's the fine line that's the line that I want to be identified. Somebody come up to me and say, "Hey, I like," huh?
I was just saying that's how like the whole, at least from what I remember, I had to sit through many of these trainings, but like people in position of power using their authority, or like even though they want like to kind of say the undertone of what they're trying to say, they're going to use their position to take advantage. That's how that line started. If I can't remember the exact case or whatever, like how it all came about, but I think that's how it really started, and then it bloomed from there to where we're at now.
Yeah, because the thing is, because we have no truly defined line, it's like now.
Harassment,
DM,
especially such harassment in the workplace, there is no defined line. It's basically how the other person feels.
I don't think I'm victim shaming, and that's why I'm trying to be very careful with my words, because I don't think I'm victim shaming. But what I am, because I don't think that I'm accusing the woman of being wrong. I don't think I'm telling her that she shouldn't feel. I think I've been clear to say that she has every right to feel the way that she feels. But I also feel like I want women and men, but I want women to just be more proactive in taking their power. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all.
But the thing is, though, it's kind of different, because if I had the governor of New York hitting on me, making me feel uncomfortable or inappropriate actions, how much power do I really have? Because as what always happens, like with the whole Me Too movement, what's the fun looking girl? Rose McGowan came out and said that Harvey Weinstein was hitting on her and inappropriate and all this other stuff. Nobody believed her. Everybody was like, One, and I'll be honest with you, I think personally it had something to do with her career, and I think it had a lot to do with how she looks, how she presents herself. Because it wasn't until a couple blondes, couple leggy women came out and said, "Oh, well, he was inappropriate with me as well." Then the movement started to pick up. So where was Rose McGowan's power? She came out and said what she was supposed to say, when she felt comfortable in telling her story. But of course, nobody.
But I'm not talking about that. That man raped her.
And even though she kind of, I'm not gonna say she started it, but she kind of like, as far as Hollywood thing. But what I'm saying is just a sense of us as women being comfortable. Like with Andrew Cuomo, again, I don't feel as though, again, because I'm not a touchy-feely person. Don't touch me. Point blank and simple, don't touch me. And I don't care how innocent you think it is, because it's not about how the person who's doing the touching feels. I don't give a shit how Andrew Cuomo feel and what he thought he was doing. It's about how it was received to the person who was touching you. She didn't want to be touched by your ass, Andy. Leave her the fuck alone. Point blank and simple. There's no discussion. There's no argument. There's no round out about it. And as far as flirting, now I don't think that, if a guy coming to you and flirt, but as a guy, understand when you approach a woman, don't come to her offhand. What happened to a simple hello? We don't got so extra with our shit nowadays. We just can't come say hello. The whole thing with the whole DMs. You DM a guy, you say hi. Next thing you know, you got a dick pic. Why? Inappropriate. The culture we're in now, we think that extra is okay, is the norm, and it's not. It's really not, and it's not okay.
All right, well, we're gonna have to keep it moving on that one.
Look, I got to a point. Especially working in the last few places I've been at. I don't even pay people no attention no more. Like when I was walking through the hallway,
I think
like anything happened.
That has nothing to do with me too. That is 100% who you are. That has nothing to do with me too. You're just.
Yeah. Well, no, we were talking about flirting and talking to people in office. Unless I had something specific to say to you, work related, I just keep it pushing. If any friendship happened, it was literally because they started talking to me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
just like we said about
Tiny. I do. If a guy comes up to me and go, if a guy comes, I don't see that as harassment. I don't see that's harassment. Y'all have froze. I don't see that's harassment. I see that simple flirting. Am I gonna go off the cuff? Absolutely not. Say, you know what, maybe now's our time. I'll see you later. I'm good. But if you start, well, why? Well, what's going on? Because I said no. Learn to leave it alone.
I hear you. Well, we're gonna leave that there. I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better for Andrew Cuomo, just like the Tiny situation. And
it is,
it's what it is. Again, I don't like the politics side of it. I think he needs to anyway, moving on. So while we've been sitting here, the Senate finally passed the stimulus bill. Now I'm reading from CNN.com real quick. Let me just read a little bit of this. The Senate passed President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan on Saturday after an all-night vote-a-rama. That's what they said. They called it a vote-a-rama. And a 12-hour struggle to get one Democrat to support the party's plan on a critical issue. The vote was 50-49 on a party line vote. The legislation is now expected to go back to the House for a final vote before Biden signs it into law. Hold on. Let me Joe Manchin. Oh, I can't stand his ass. After a long negotiation with a flurry of other amendments to consider, Manchin finally agreed to extend $300 weekly unemployment benefits through September, about a month earlier than what Democrats had envisioned. He also limited the provision to make the first $10,000 in non-taxable apply only to households making less than $150,000 a year. We've reached a compromise that enables the economy to rebound quickly. Yada, yada, yada. Buddha. It also extends a 15% increase in food stamp benefits from June to September, helps low-income households cover rent, makes federal premium subsidies for Affordable Care Act policies and more generous, and gives $8.5 billion for struggling rural hospitals and healthcare providers. The Senate passed the bill after, once again, a vote-a-rama, a Senate tradition that the minority party uses to put members of the majority on the record. Yada, yada, yada. I don't care about that. Da, 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 boo.
Those technical terms.
Yeah, I don't care about all that. Da, 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 yada, yada, yada. Vast majority of GOP amendments failed. Along with one, they tried to throw the Keystone Pipeline into this. Lord have mercy. Veterans educational benefits okay. I'm just reading through this real quick, y'all. I just want to make sure I give y'all the highlights. So it has to go back to the House, and then it will be signed into law. And then for those of you who all y'all care about is when y'all gonna get y'all $1,200, it'll probably be sometime later on this month. Once it becomes law, they can start sending out the checks. So they took the $15. Yeah, they took the $15 minimum wage out. Yeah, I knew they did that. Yeah, let's be clear. Me and El Teddy had this conversation earlier this week. Sure. I need everybody right now to put something in your mind. I need all of you in the room right now. Democrat, most of y'all are probably Democrats or independents. There's probably a few Republicans in here, and that's your business. I ain't judging you. But I need everybody right now to put this in their mind. Forget that Joe Manchin is a Democrat. For all intents and purposes, he is a Republican. So we really don't have the majority in the Senate right now because they're going to have to kiss his ass for the next 2 years. Let's just be clear. Y'all ain't got to like it, but it is what it is. Joe Manchin, for all intents and purposes, is not a Democrat. He is going to side with the Republicans every chance he gets. And because of that, the Democrats are going to be kissing his ass for the next 2 years to the midterm elections. Okay? That's what it is. We can be mad about it. We can talk about it. Ain't no need to even get mad at Biden because there's going to have to be compromise because the alternative is we don't get nothing at all. If we don't do business and we don't negotiate, we don't get shit. And so I need y'all to put that in your mind. Ain't no need in getting mad about it. It just is what it's the politics of it. It is the politics of it. Joe Manchin is a Democrat on paper only. 90% of the time, he is going to side with the Republicans. And because of that, if it ever comes down party lines, he's always going to hold the ace card. He got the Trump. He got the big joker. However you need me to break it down for y'all. So ain't no need in getting mad at Biden when he goes and he has to negotiate. Because that's what the alternative is. We don't get shit done.
Hey, don't bring spades and Bill Wilson into this.
I'm just saying. Some people need to understand. Let me bring Uno into it. He got the draw 4 card. Okay? I need y'all to understand it. I'm just saying.
That's a good question. Why aren't you a congresswoman?
Because I ain't one. I don't want to be.
Just bad. When is your grassroots campaign starting?
Shit, don't y'all start that rumor. Don't y'all start that rumor. Oh, Lord. All right, so that is it.
Just take
How do we feel about
security?
Huh?
You take Mink with you. You won't need any security.
Oh, Lord. You right about that, Jesus. Lord Jesus, you're right. I won't need no security. You ain't lying about that. I won't need the security.
Well, you know, Secret Service, you got me.
Well, that I can agree with you with that we need to do. When I say we, the Democrats need to do a better job with, the races. I mean, we know that to be the case. Yeah, we know that to be the case.
Part of the problem part of the problem is we're only Biden has been elected, and a lot of the House and Senate has changed. Congress and Senate has changed.
Mink,
So a lot of hell, they had to deal with cleaning up some of the stuff that Trump and his people did. Huh?
I mean, your internet is real janky today. I said, are the deer chewing up on your internet line? Because you're real janky today. Your internet is real janky today.
Not the deer.
I'm just saying. We know what.
I hope not. It's been that. As I'm saying, I was happy.
Yeah.
Me, go out and come back in. Go out and come back in, me.
He's like,
I was having technical difficulties.
Yeah, I know you were. I know. I'm gonna go out and come back in because you were doing fine at first, and now it's sort of. Yeah, we're gonna let her go out and come back in. Alika, well, really be the pod. This is the podcast. You guys are just getting. I come here live. We used to just do it straight to the podcast and then upload it, but I decided to come live so we have like a little bit of an audience. We have not been as consistent as we have been in the past, but we're gonna get better. I know we keep saying that, but we really are. So as far as while we waiting for Mink to come back in,
sure.
I always thought Manchin was an undercover Republican. Somebody just said something that I was going to ask about. I was going to respond to. Oh my gosh, my head is killing me. All of a sudden, I just got this headache. Like my head is like literally just started thumping. Like literally. Whew. Okay. Oh my gosh. Somebody said something. Somebody said something I was just going to respond to.
Okay.
Okay. I really thought I saw something in the comments I was going to respond to, but now I can't find it. But anyway, so yeah, as it relates to the bill, how you feeling about the bill, Face?
I mean, yay, but I'll probably have a different attitude.
Oh, that's much better. You're clear and everything. Mink. That's much better. Whatever you did, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Maybe she can't. Can you hear me, Mink? Uh-oh.
Blink twice.
Right. I think she froze.
If you need,
Okay, you're not moving. Okay, there you go.
There it is.
All right. All right. We better now. Okay, we back to the three of us. Okay. Now what were you saying? Face, and then Mink will come back to where you kind of got.
I'll probably have a more positive attitude, once it gets signed into law. But now it's kind of like, I mean, I look forward to stuff when it's actually happening. So,
Right. I mean, like I said, for those of us who are eligible to get a check, they'll probably be coming out sometime the middle of March. I would say about another 2 weeks. They'll start rolling those checks out. Yeah.
So I might put a few things in my waitlist cart.
Right. Your Amazon cart. Right.
Maybe, but for real,
All right, what we going to say, Mink? Are you there, boo? Minky Poo.
I forgot. Can you hear me? I'm about to get on my phone.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm sorry, I forgot, but I agree with So Jeff that the Dems are too nice.
I definitely agree with
I know what I was saying. We're only roughly 60.
Mink, go get on your phone.
This was gonna be good too.
I know. I feel like she was.
I feel that was gonna be good.
Mink, go get on your phone.
And we're only
She's still talking.
A few days in. I mean, 60 days in, and a lot of.
Damn. Hope she didn't record this either.
Right. Okay. Yeah, she went and got on her phone. You went and got on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lot better. All right, now I know you left off this time. You talking about Biden? He only 60 days in. Go.
I was saying that he's only 60 days in, so I think we have to be a little bit patient with him.
I agree.
And a lot of time he spent has just been cleaning up. Trying to clean up what Trump and his people done messed up. Then we had the whole storm in the castle, the Capitol thing. So it's been a lot of cleanup. But I do agree with So Jeff that the Dems are way, way too nice, and we need to start putting foot to ass when it comes to stuff.
I agree 100%, and that's something.
People trying to play middle of the road all the time. I'm like, yo, stop it.
Yes,
and the Dems are way too weak. They're way, way, way too weak.
My thing don't care about no scandals or nothing.
Right, my thing is
do what they need to do.
Right. Going back to the Andrew Cuomo thing. That's why I ain't on the Andrew Cuomo need to resign train. Hell, y'all let Trump stay there for 4 years doing the same and worse.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody make him resign. Hell, we tried to impeach the man twice.
Actually, he was accused of worse. He was accused of worse as he was running for president.
Right, he was accused of worse before he even ran for president. So, I mean, some of y'all might not agree with that, but that's why the Dems keep losing. That's why the Dems keep losing, because there's gonna be people that don't agree with what I just said, and that's why the Dems keep losing. Because if this were a Republican governor, they'd be standing behind him, and would nobody be talking about he needs to resign. But you got his own party telling him he need to resign. Why? What's the alternative?
Because we want to keep making nice.
Well, nice don't win. Sorry.
Never has.
Nice don't win.
Never has in history.
Nice wins Miss Congeniality, but it don't carry the crown. Sorry.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think nice men win Miss Congeniality. I think them bitches be threatening people.
Oh, well.
All right.
So it's like, we keep, again, as I always say, we keep trying to play chess with checkers rules and then wonder why we keep losing.
Exactly. Well, that's so you reminded me what I was going to say. That's the other conversation. Me and El Teddy had one of our conversations earlier this week on the phone, honey, and we was debating, and that was one of the things that I was saying. I need people to understand. Again, all my people in the room, I need y'all to understand how bad the government was. I need y'all to understand how disassembled Donald Trump had our government. I don't think people understand how bad it was. The fact that, like, I have friends who work in Department of Ed. I have friends that work in Department of State, State Department. And the fact that we're talking about whole parking garages are empty because there's that many empty positions that were not filled for 3 and 4 years. Contrary to popular belief, I see you, Face, I got you. Contrary to popular belief, people do jobs. And when you have, and people who live in DC, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you have whole parking garages empty that used to be full of government workers, all of those are connected to positions that now Biden has to make sure he puts the right people in place so they can put the right people in place. And for the last 3 to 4 years, those jobs were not getting done. I don't think people understand how bad it was. The FBI director gave a briefing on just how bad things were down to the FBI. I know people who work in the Department of Ed who were like, yeah, I had supervisors who never came to work. People that Betsy DeVos put in place that's supposed to tell me how to do my job, I ain't seen them in 3 years. And that's not an exaggeration. I haven't seen them in 3 years. So I don't think people understand how bad it is down there. Go ahead, Faith.
I was just wondering that past comment. So when you running again? Like, I'm trying to figure out when we're getting your campaign started. I'm just trying to figure out when we're gonna get this started.
But you wanna DJ all the events?
I mean, can I? I'm just trying to get in where I fit in. I will support you. I will support however it is, But I'm just saying, just go ahead and do it.
Dollface, I don't think it's racing to the bottom. I don't. I think, like Mink said, we're playing chess with checkers rules, and you're never gonna win. You'll get in the game. You understand the basic concept of the game, but you ain't never gonna win.
That's why you playing,
right? You playing bid with spades rules. It's the concepts are similar, but you ain't never gonna win against bid whist players coming in there talking, well, I know how to play spades. I'm good.
Now let's uptown spades.
Right, and you might even win a couple of rounds, but you won't win the game. You might win a couple of hands, but you won't win the game. And I hear what you're saying, Dollface. I get it, but that's why we keep losing. And you say our ancestors played the long game. I don't understand what you mean by that. When you say our ancestors, you mean black people? You mean I'm not understanding what you mean by you say our ancestors played the long game. Our ancestors played the long game because they had to. They didn't have a position of power. If that's what you're talking about, black people, we never had the position of power. Whereas the Democrats right now have the position of power, and they're playing it as if they're behind, and they're not.
Okay. I like Auntie Didi's favorite.
Okay.
A little more gangster.
Okay.
Who is?
Uh-oh. What is going on? I'm gonna let her figure it out. Is reneging winning if you get caught?
If you don't get caught, I mean, look at the Republicans.
I mean, if you don't get caught, the Republicans been all the damn time, and they've been running. I mean, they've been running the House, the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the White House.
And the Dems can't call the right books to flip over. So
So you mean you talking about the founding fathers or you said, okay, I'm confused. The founding fathers or the slaves? Because the slaves were never in a position of power. I'm talking about, I think that's apples and oranges. I don't think it's a fair comparison because I'm talking about in the political system, the Democrats right now are in a position of power and they're playing as if they're the underdogs and you're not going to win. You're not going to win playing like that. You're just not.
It's like they're more worried about their image, how they look, than actually getting stuff done. how do I look on TV? I think that's probably more important than anything else. Or at least that's how it seems.
Yeah. So, but I hear what you're saying, Dollface. I hear you, babe. And the reality of the situation is there are a lot of people that do feel that way. I'm just not one of them. I felt for a long time that the Democrats play too nice. And I feel like that's the one thing that I have always respected about the Republicans. The Republicans, they play gangster and they don't give a fuck. They play balls to the wall and they don't give a fuck. And the reason why the Democrats keep coming up short is because they still like Mink said, they playing checkers and they playing chess. They playing they playing chess with a checkers handbook. You ain't gonna win like that.
And Republicans, gotta admit, they support each other all the way to the grave, even when all the facts roll out.
Right. I mean, let's use Al Franken as an example, and then we'll move on. So Al Franken, who was somebody who would go head to head with Donald Trump, he would go head to head with Mitch McConnell, he would go head to head with any of the Republican leadership. He was respected in Congress, right? He has this scandal come out. Whether you agree or disagree with the scandal, I'm not going down that road right now, okay? His own party was asking him to step down. He didn't just get pressure from the Republicans. He got pressure from his own party. So he steps down because he doesn't even have the Democrat support anymore. And as a result, his replacement is a little wishy-washy. She ain't as strong as he was. She's not as steadfast of an ally as he was. If the situation is reversed, and so what ends up happening is the Democrats lose. They may have won morally because you feel like that what Al Franken did was morally wrong. Yeah, they may have won a moral fight, but in the fight to do what's right and to do what's in the best interest of America, the Democrats lost. Now, if the situation were reversed and Al Franken was a Republican, does the same thing happen?
No.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Because they're going to say Al Franken being an ally and standing steadfast against Obama and fighting the good fight is more important than that. Let that play out in court. That's how the Republicans would have handled it. Let her sue him and let that play out in court. That ain't got nothing to do with his 9 to 5 right here.
Right.
I agree. We spend too much time trying to be nice, trying to be good. You want a fair fight.
Like, we ain't got time.
Winning for me is that 1.9 stimulus bill getting passed as it was. Winning for me is that we would have got that $15 minimum wage increase. Winning for me is that we wouldn't have had to worry about the Affordable Health Care Act being disassembled in the last 4 years. That's what winning to me looks like. It absolutely could apply to the mafia. I mean, the mafia is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's just an illegal one. It's not that it's not a well-run corporation. It just does illegal shit. Let's be clear. The breakdown of the corporation ain't the problem. It's the product that's the problem. But the way the mafia is set up, the way that they are steadfast, the way that they got each other's back, you have very few examples of mafia people turning on each other. There are some, very few examples. And we're talking about a $1 billion corporation that has been in business since the 1920s. Now, the problem with the mafia is that their product is an illegal product, but the foundation of the mafia ain't the problem. I see what you're saying, Dollface. We just looking at it differently. I hear you though. Your point is valid, babe. Your point is valid.
Are you? I mean, you know, like you say, like 2 years, we can probably get something going, right? We start now,
right?
And within 2 years, we can get you on a ticket somewhere.
Oh hell no!
I'm just, all right. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
Moving on. So here's where we're gonna switch gears. I appreciate you guys. And even the people who disagree with me, it's all love. I appreciate the conversation. Because listen, let's be clear. Mink and Faith don't agree with me all the time either.
Nah.
If Cuomo isn't in this mess now, he would have continued being a hell of a force that was always been. He wasn't afraid to take on Trump. Right, exactly. Now, again, whether you agree or disagree with what he's done, he definitely gave Trump. I mean, he kept Trump pissed off for weeks. Every day he was pissing Trump off. Every day. All right, you guys. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's get into a little bit of TV. No, I think one that we're gonna talk about Texas opening back up. How y'all feel? I mean, that ain't gonna take us long. How y'all feel about Texas opening back up?
The governor's stupid. He sat there and said during a press conference, he said the numbers are down because we've been social distancing, and I'm paraphrasing, but because we've been social distancing, because we've been wearing our masks, because we've been staying here, our numbers are down. Let's open back up. That's about the equivalent of saying, we haven't gotten pregnant because we haven't had sex. Oh, let's go out here and do the whole NFL team, and let's see what happens.
Right, we haven't gotten pregnant because we haven't gotten pregnant because we've been using condoms. So let's stop using condoms. See how that works out for y'all.
Right, and we'll see. It's like, okay, dude.
Is he banning any and all travel to and from Texas?
I don't. You know what? I don't think he, but I think everybody else should. The thing about it is,
it's like, all right, cool.
And let's have a clear understanding. He's just raising the mandate of the mask. And bless you. He's raising the mandate for it. So the thing about it is, he's not saying you can't wear a mask. He's saying he's no longer requiring you to wear a mask. And in all honesty, y'all know I believe in a slightly different protest. So the thing about it is, if I go into Chick-fil-A or whomever, I go into a restaurant and nobody in there has on a mask, just don't go back anymore. Because the thing is, if their doors are open and they see a drop or percentage in because they're not wearing a mask, it is Texas, but hopefully eventually they'll get the message. But it doesn't mean you can't wear a mask and things like that. So it's once again a proven time for people to use their own good sense. Yeah, you're going to have the wahoos and the yahoos out here, burning masks in the middle of Times Square. You're going to have that. But for those who still want to wear the mask, who still believe that's a layer of protection, don't, just continue to do what you've been doing.
How you feel about it, Face?
Aside from what Mink just said, it seems like he's just going to gamble on lives and hopefully over time, he can be proved right if, a lot of people just don't randomly start dying all of a sudden. Like, numbers don't go up. I think that's all. That's what it is. And everybody's saying it's about money. Sure, of course it is. Commerce, get it back. We just going to release that. But they're basically betting on, all right, we're going to do this and we're going to see what happens.
But I could even see if he did one, like if he said, okay, we're going to open up, everything is going to open back up to 100% capacity. But we still want to require certain things be put in place. I still would be leery about that, but I'd be like, okay, fine. So you're going to open up the movie theaters and you're going to let anybody who want to buy a movie ticket come in, but you still got to wear your mask. I just feel like to throw all of it out the window at one time is just so fucking ridiculous.
I haven't checked out, social media news in Texas, but I'm pretty sure people parties are being planned right now.
I'm pretty sure
they're not being planned right this second if they're not happening as we speak.
Yeah, again, I know we eventually have to open up America. I get it. And I know that there are people suffering and businesses, and I get all of that. I got it. I went to school. I understand how this works. But I also know how death works. So.
Right, you're playing the odds. That's all. In the end, that's what they're doing. Anybody that's opening completely back up, just like nothing ever happened, you just playing the odds with it, everybody's life, pretty much.
I think this is my allergies, y'all. That's the thing. I'm like literally as I'm sitting here, I'm feeling worse and worse, and it's all in my head, and I really feel like it's my allergies. I gotta take an allergy pill. Well, spring's here in DC,
right?
Because my door has opened twice since I've been sitting here. Somebody went out, somebody came back in. I literally think in those 2 times that my front door opened up, I really feel like it is my sinuses. It is almost, is it spring in DC? God,
It's getting close because
Lee, like when I say my head,
I can see my allergies around the corner.
And sniffling, and I feel I don't have a cold. It's not that. I literally think it's my allergies. Okay.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Here we go. Well, they talking about the cherry blossoms and child. That's always when I know it's time, when they start talking about the cherry blossoms, child. New Jones is in Dallas, Lauren is in Houston, so there's some Texas people. I feel for y'all. Y'all just listen. Y'all keep using the common sense that God gave you, please. Y'all keep your mask on and y'all stay vigilant, please. Only go out when you have to. I know we're going to talk tomorrow on the Teacher Project 2.0. El Teddy and I are going to be discussing how this is going to affect schools down in Texas. So I know that there's some people who, because businesses and stuff are opening back up, you're going to have to go out more than you had to before. But please just stay vigilant, mindful, get your wipes. Go back to doing what we was doing in the beginning. Wipe everything down. If you've gotten out of the habit of wiping stuff down or whatever, get you some wipes, some Lysol wipes or some what they call that other company, Bioderm or whatever. Get you some wipes, some spray, some hand sanitizer. Keep your mask, double mask. Get you a face shield if you have to. Just stay very vigilant, you guys. Stay very vigilant. It would help if the economy feeders weren't on Maryland's tier 3 list for vaccines. We are stuck at home because we can't get a vaccination. Economy feeders weren't on Maryland's tier 3 list. I'm be honest with you. I haven't been paying attention to Dollface, when you say the tier 3 list. So you're saying that where you fall on the vaccine list is so low that right now you're not eligible to get the vaccine. Is that what you're saying? I know a lot of people. I have friends who are still in line who have signed up for the vaccine and they're waiting. They've pre-registered and they're waiting to get the call. My doctor, I'm not eligible to take the vaccine, so I haven't really been paying attention because I can't take it. So, there's that. We don't have enough vaccines available. Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, they did talk about that. High risk people who don't have to go out have been vaccinated. But those who are the economic powerhouses can't get on the list. Interesting. Okay. Well, I hope your name comes up soon, Dollface. I hope your name comes up soon, babe. I know my parents got the vaccine. Like my dad has to go out 3 times a week for dialysis. So he's high risk. He's retired. But he has to go out 3 times a week for his dialysis. So, 1A, 1B, 2C, 2 and 3. Yeah, and I know in Maryland, they put teachers on the list because they're opening schools back up. So, I don't know who, again, I haven't been paying attention to how the list breaks down. I only paid attention to where I fell on the list. And because I'm an educator, I was eligible because I was deemed an essential worker because schools are opening back up. So honestly, that might sound ignorant, but I really ain't been paying attention to where other people fall because I just ain't really paid attention to it because I knew I couldn't take it. So, well, I ain't know I couldn't take it. I ain't want to take it, and now I can't take it. So, what does the vaccine actually do? It vaccinates you.
It depends on which vaccine it is. The Moderna and Pfizer act a little different from Johnson & Johnson. But yeah, it's all just a simple supposed prevention of
nothing is 100%. No vaccine is 100%. It just drastically lowers. And let's be clear, you guys, vaccines aren't new. Like anybody who's had a child knows that you spend your first couple of months taking a baby back and forth to the doctor to get their shots to get vaccinated. We are vaccinated against so many diseases that are pretty much obsolete at this point. So the vaccine itself isn't the issue. I think a lot of people are leery because they feel like it came about really quickly and because there are so many strands and things of that nature. We're still not sure about the side effects and all of that good stuff. So everybody has, their concerns. And I know for the people who want to take it, I hope that the vaccine becomes more and more available. So that, because we're trying to get to the point where we have herd immunity. So, yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people hesitation is in the beginning, they were saying that they had circumvented a lot of the checks and balances that they normally do through the CDC for vaccination to get this through because of the pandemic. So I do understand people's hesitation and, remorse about getting. Yes, we've been vaccinated against polio and chickenpox and measles, mumps, and rubella for over 100 years. But
Yeah.
again, they've been here for over, those vaccinations have been, well, not 100 years, but they've been here at least 2 or 3 generations. Whereas this vaccination here, in a matter of months, we're just going into a year of being locked down from the pandemic. In a matter of months, we were able to create and distribute a vaccine. So I've completely 100% understand people's hesitation of
Right.
getting it just for that.
This how
And to
I
be
ain't never
fair,
started. That's all I'm saying.
and let me say this, to be fair, they were already working on a vaccine because COVID is not new. It's the strand that's new. But COVID is not new. So to be
COVID
fair,
is
they
not
were
new.
already working on a vaccine.
And that's true, but it's like, again, we know how things are done in this
No,
country, and
I
we know how
definitely
things are
understand it. Let's be clear. I'm not defending. I understand 100%, but I'm just saying,
So I tell people all the time, you have to do what's comfortable for you and yours, and just go from there.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, well let's switch gears a little bit. We got about 30 minutes left. We're going to get into a little bit of what's going on with y'all TV talk, TV wise. I will say this, that I have seen Judas and the Black Messiah, the United States versus Billie Holiday. Both are very, very highly recommended. Go catch my review if you haven't seen my review and how I felt about it. What I had to say about those 2 movies. Have you guys? I was trying to get to Coming to America so we could talk about that, but Mink said she hadn't. Faye said he hadn't seen it yet, and so I wasn't sure about Mink. So I was like, well, we can talk about it next time.
No, I haven't seen it. My family and I are gonna watch it tonight together. So I'm gonna run out here in a little bit. We're doing a whole, since we're gonna bring the theater to us. I'm going to do like movie theater food and all that, and watch Coming to America too. I'm looking forward to it. I've seen Judas and the Black Messiah. I saw that yesterday.
How'd you
I
feel about
watched it. The acting was good. Everything I thought was honestly good. But I had a high interest in the Black Panthers at a young age.
it? Yeah,
So it wasn't too many things that I learned from it that I didn't already know.
I felt the same way.
But that does take anything from the story and how they decided to tell it from the informants. I took it they were telling the story mostly from the informant side point of view. I do think it was well written. I think every actor did a wonderful job because I always see it's very difficult playing actual people.
Yeah. And
So
it's hard to play somebody that people are going to hate. Like,
right.
Lakeith, no matter what Lakeith did with that, nobody was going to walk away liking him. Well, I ain't going to say nobody, but the vast majority of the people were not going to walk away liking him. So I think he did a good job of humanizing him, but not trying to martyr him.
Yes, he did an excellent job. Again, I think it was an excellent film. I don't say anything with the the theatrics behind it, the storyline, the acting, nothing. It's just something I just didn't get anything out. No, I didn't learn anything from it. I'll say I didn't learn anything new.
I didn't learn. So for me, I really didn't learn. I learned more details about the informant and his interaction. I knew about the informant. I saw it on Eyes on the Prize, and if you watch my review, I have a personal story to share about that. So y'all ain't gonna tell it here. Y'all go watch my review. But I do have a personal story as it relates to that informant and a little behind the scenes information on that part of it. So I knew about the informant, but I did not know all of the ins and outs about what he kind of went through in reference to it. But I did know. And some of the stuff I knew, but I didn't know about it in sequence to events. You know what I'm saying? So it did, because I'm like you, Mink. I learned, when I found out about the Black Panthers, I went out and I read everything I could find on the Black Panthers. I think I've read every book written about the Black Panthers, by Black Panthers. I've seen documentaries and movies. And so I'm like you. There's really not a lot, unless some new stuff comes out. There really isn't a lot that I don't know or I haven't somehow come across at some point in my life. I may not remember every single detail because I'm old, but I've at some point read about it, learned about it, heard about it. But there were some things as far as the sequence of events and getting more details about different events that I did learn. I think it was a very, very well written screenplay. I think it was very well acted. I think the feel of it was great as far as the costumes. It definitely gave you a feel for that time period in that era. And just to understand who Fred Hampton was and the fact that this man was 21 years old and was bringing together gangs and different organizations, and how he could walk into a room full of white people and command it just as well as a room full of black people. And that's not an exaggeration for the purposes of the movie. That is who he was, you know. And so I definitely was here for that. Definitely was here for that. Had you had a chance to see it?
I did watch it. I am not the buff that you two are, but I watched it. I can't say, I mean, just like you were saying, I learned anything extra from it. It was a good movie. Like, it was kind of like, okay. This was, a good story to be told.
Right. And it doesn't have to necessarily be, and it's okay that it doesn't have to necessarily, like, you don't have to walk away with a history lesson. Sometimes it's just a good movie because it's a good movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I took it as a good movie. Like,
I just have a different affinity because of my love for the whole movement. So, yeah. What about the United States versus Billie Holiday? Did you guys watch that?
I watched that. It's kind of the same feel. It was a good movie. I think, everyone did an excellent job. Again, portraying live people, was difficult. They did an excellent job. For me, the sequential order of the movie kind of threw me off a little bit. And not to give anything away, but towards the end of the movie, it was a part where she saw an incident.
Excuse me.
Bless you. And she wound up running to a house, and then all these figures started coming in. That part kind of threw me a little bit because I'm like, well, wait, like, what's going on with her? But overall, I thought it was a good movie.
It threw me. So the sequence threw me off as well. But it threw me off differently. The sequence threw me off because at the beginning of the movie, it's an interview. She's interviewing, and clearly she's older. Clearly, you have Lawrence is there with her, and he's older. So I'm confused because then at the end of the movie, they have her death. So at what point is this interview plopped into the movie, into the timeline? You see what I'm saying? Like, where are we in her telling this story?
I think that interview was done probably within weeks of her dying.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But that's where they kind of lost me a little bit because I wasn't quite sure of that timeline either. And even with the in and out of the different men in her life, I was a little confused with it. Unlike Judas and the Black Messiah, I did learn a lot. I'm a Billie Holiday fan. I love Billie Holiday, so I did learn a lot because I did not know how much the government played a part in her arrest and all of the different things. Because I remember when I was younger and I was watching Lady Sings the Blues, and I was a kid. Like, the first time I saw Lady Sings the Blues, I might have been 10, 11 years old. So first of all, half of it I ain't understand. Let's be clear. Because it was just over my head. But the part that I did, I never understood why her ass kept going to jail for being a drug addict. I was like, since when? Because remember, I grew up in the 80s and 90s in DC. So I'm like, the addict is the one that go to jail. The person selling the drugs go to jail. So I never understood that part of it because I was like, well, when did this become a thing? And the fact that if you see Lady Sings the Blues, they show her being in jail a couple of times. And I'm just like, well, when did that become a thing? And so that started making a little bit of sense. And I didn't realize that the government dogged her so much over Strange Fruit. Like, I did not know that. I did not know.
And see, I've never seen Lady Sings the Blues. Yeah. I've never seen
Mink, why do you do this to us? Every single time. Every single time. How you ain't seen Lady Sings the damn Blues?
Because I ain't know what you say it was singing the blues for. I ain't never seen that on Mahogany, so just wrap it all up together.
Listen, we still gonna have to have a movie night for Mahogany because I'm not over that.
Look, Mahogany, Lady Sings the Blues, and original Sparkle. Wrap them all up together. Never seen it. But I never seen these things of blues. But the thing, because I hadn't watched it, but
you miss Mahogany. It used to be on TV like every year.
It's still coming to TV every year.
In all honesty, growing up as a small child, because it was
Charlie Brown.
As a small child growing up, I always thought that Mahogany and Lady Sings the Blues was the same movie because they both had Diana Ross.
Oh my
gosh! But for me, because my family, my mom was older, my aunts and them were older, I did kind of know some of the Billie Holiday story because they were fans of Billie Holiday. And again, I didn't necessarily get the details of it, but I would hear the talks of what the government had did to her, and things like that. Now I did learn some things about her from this movie. I truly felt for her when she was talking about her childhood, and they showed, how her mom treated her and what her mom did to her. And for me, that explains the drug use. That explains, the inability to accept love the way she did. What is that?
But she went and got.
I was looking. I can't find my Mahogany. I think my Mahogany is upstairs. But what you gonna do? You gonna watch this? Go ahead.
So, I thought it was a really good movie. Honestly, for me, stuff like that, my heart weeps for people that go through stuff like that, especially during those times, because we didn't understand addiction. We didn't understand, her need to cope. We didn't understand, child abuse and sexual abuse.
We barely understand that now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but at least now we know that it exists. So I can't imagine, in that time suffering through all that she suffered through and still felt the courage to stand on stage and sing for people, whether she was inebriated or not. So for me, that part of the story for me was eye-opening as far as why she suffered. Like we could easily say, oh, she's on drugs and like, oh, okay, whatever. But it wasn't necessarily the drugs were linked to her being a detainer.
But for so many people, for so many drug addicts, if you pull back the layers, there are a lot of drug addicts where underneath it, there are some tragic stories, and they are trying to escape. I mean, for a lot of drug addicts. And, she said in the movie, that one part in the movie where they were like, Billie, you high? And she was like, of course I'm high. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all act like y'all surprised that I'm high. Like, what are you talking about? I'm with you, Alikala. I am not a Diana Ross fan, but let me tell you something about Mahogany, bitch. I don't care. I'm not calling you a bitch. I'm saying bitch. I don't care about, because I love Mahogany, and I'm not a Diana Ross fan at all. But she did that. She did that in Mahogany. I'm sorry. She did that. She did that.
How did you get through life and miss Roots?
You know what? But listen, let me say this. I can understand if you ain't never seen Roots, because
that came on every year.
Movies either. I have never
a week. Like, it was impossible. At least you may not have seen it all in sequence, but I mean,
I used to show Roots last weekend.
I just watched Roots again last weekend. How do you miss Roots?
Yeah, I've watched Roots. I used to show Roots to my students every year. On Friday was our movie day. We used to watch, because it took damn near the whole school year to show it. So on Fridays, we would just watch it. Friday, that would be our Friday class. We would watch it, and we would go piece by piece, because that's when I taught American History Part 1, and Roots really coincides with a lot of what's going on in American history. So we started the beginning of Roots, and we go all the way through from the colonial age to the Civil War. And at the end of the year, my curriculum was from the beginnings of America to the Civil War. And so it fell in line with my curriculum. And then I could teach my Black history as we went through it. So absolutely, I started with the slave trade and went all the way through the Civil War. So but now I teach the second part. And I don't have that same luxury anymore, because things have just changed. But so I say all that to say I done seen damn Roots so many damn times I probably could recite half the daggone dialogue. Now I did not look at the new Roots, the one that had. I didn't want to see it. I looked at the first episode, and I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah, I tried. Same thing. I tried the first episode, and I was just like, yeah, we're going to. I don't who. Okay, I'm good.
And with that first episode, I think I will say this. They did a good job. I think they were attempting to explain how other Africans sold each other into slavery, and they were trying to explain that part of it. So I'll give them an A for effort as far as what they were trying to do, but I feel like you're going too far away from what I know, and I just couldn't do it. I never watched it.
And I have theories on that. That's a whole nother topic. That's like our Umbaka episode. I have like a whole theory on this. The whole jumping off the ship, the whole us selling each other into slavery. That's a whole rabbit hole. But I have so many questions. I have so many disputes about that. But yeah, like I want to eventually see it. But I just something about that the remake of Roots just didn't sit with me. And I'm not saying it wasn't good.
I wasn't here for it. You call it what you want. I wasn't here for it.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't here for it. I know that the two of y'all have been watching WandaVision, right? Because I haven't.
Yes.
But
yes, I finally, me and the tall one.
I don't know nothing about WandaVision or none of that, but I'm sure y'all want to talk about it.
I was surprised when I rewatched it last night and the thing came up and said series finale.
They're not going to do a season 2? Everybody seemed to love
it. That's that series finale. Yeah.
That's shocking. But it's funny though, because everybody was like, everyone, to me, all the things I read, people was like, oh, such a tearjerker, and I was like, what are y'all crying for? Like at the end, I was like, okay, so what were the tears? What were the tears for?
Maybe because the series is over.
I thought it was with the kids dying or whatever. I'm sorry, spoiler alert. But thankfully they didn't die. But
they weren't real to begin with, so
okay, that's where I was. I'm like, y'all crying from paper dolls. Like, I don't understand. Like, I want to attack. But I think it was a good series. I think it was a good way to move the Marvel universe forward. I think it was a good way to kind of tie the X-Men into this Marvel universe here. I think it was a good show. I ain't gonna lie, I suffered through the first 2 episodes, and then the tall one come back. The third one gets good, and it actually does. So if you've watched and made it to the end of the second, come back for the third, and it will start to pick up. It ties Captain Marvel into it. It was a great transitional piece for the Marvel universe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to it was a good series, and it introduced a couple of new characters actually that were.
So Jeff said that Disney is doing multiple Marvel series, so it's like that's sort of like a mini series in the big picture. I guess.
I'm pretty sure whatever the last series is, everybody's going to be in it at some point as they keep going.
I guess one day I'll look at
all tie together in the movie.
Because I heard they were remaking the Fantastic Four. Again.
Why we keep remaking movies?
They haven't got it right yet.
Right. Honestly, the first one with Ian McGruder, Ian Gruff was good. But that one with Michael B. Jordan, and I like Michael B. Jordan, but that just wasn't it.
That shouldn't have made that one at all.
That was just not it. The first 2 were good, were suffice.
What was Michael B. Jordan in?
The remake of Fantastic Four.
Oh, he was? I didn't even know he was. Really?
Yeah, he played Johnny Storm. He played the Human Torch.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
But the way they did it, they tried to basically just they didn't use any source material at all other than the characters.
Yeah. And the thing is, and I could see them remaking Fantastic Four in all honesty to tie it into this Marvel universe, because in the first one that came out in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, you had Chris Evans who played the Human Torch, who now plays Captain America.
Right.
So I can see how you would want to give it a different face. I understand that. But it really, that's like, but
and of course they got to meet their quota. Of course they got to meet the quota.
Right. But they're not going to make, they'll remake Fantastic Four for the 3rd time, but they won't remake the Hulk. It's like, really, and
making a movie with the Hulk, it's the same as trying to make a decent movie with Superman in it. Like it's hard.
I like Mark Ruffalo. To me, he's my favorite Hulk. He's my favorite David
Yeah,
Banner.
he's definitely. I mean, if they're gonna make one, he
So you
has
mean
to be.
outside of the original? You mean outside of Lou Ferrigno?
I mean, that's a TV show. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes. Outside. Yes, that includes Mark Ruffalo. Yes, that includes whatever the original guy named Billingsley, Bill
Bill
Billingsley,
Bixby.
Bill
Bill,
Bixby,
Bill
and
Bixby.
Lou Ferrigno. Yes.
I mean, even the old TV Hulk movies were terrible.
Yeah, they were. They
I
were.
mean, it was cool to watch as I was a kid, but you like try to watch them now, it's like I was entertained by this.
Well, that's how a lot of stuff don't translate to adulthood from when we was kids.
Yeah, I saw Willy Wonka. I think we talked about this before. I saw Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as an adult. I was like, almost. I was like,
Now that's a movie I've never seen. I have never seen Willy Wonka.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Really? How'd you get to school and like not see that movie? They showed it in school.
Not in my school.
Yeah, thankfully my school did not show that movie.
I'm about to say, not in my school they didn't.
Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Johnny Depp is weird. He just started making kids movies. I'm sorry. Let's just call it what it is. Because the movie is already weird, and he put a layer of creep on top of it.
Not a layer of creep.
Wasn't he in what was that? He did Alice in Wonderland too, didn't he?
Yes, he played the Mad Hatter. Yes, he did. And again, creep factor. Johnny Depp needs to stop making children. Stop appearing.
That Eric Bana Hulk Marvel act like that movie didn't even happen.
Because it shouldn't have. It should not have. I like Edward Norton better. If I had to put him in order, I'm doing Mark Ruffalo, Ed Norton,
Edward Norton,
and then the other guy.
Edward Norton is the that's where the MCU Hulk started with Edward Norton. But the Eric Bana version is
again Mark Ruffalo, Ed Norton, Scooby Doo, and then Eric Bana.
Wait, is his Scooby Doo?
I'd rather see Scooby Doo play the Hulk than see Eric Bana play the Hulk again.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
I don't know what is about Eric Bana. Him and his acting for me just leaves so much desire. I think I've seen maybe a half a movie that I've liked him in. Other than that, I'm good.
I mean, I was entertained when he died in Troy.
I've never seen Troy. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've never seen Troy all the way. Again, I saw his face in the previews and I was done. I was just like,
so he was in the previews. You just canceled the entire movie.
I was like, I'm not gonna sit there. And I like Brad Pitt and everything, and I like the story of Troy. I saw Eric Bana's face. I was just like, I'm not about to sit through 2 hours and 15 minutes of him. I'm not about to sit here and do that. Not to myself.
You're not gonna torture me.
I'd probably rather watch damn Howard the Duck again to see an Eric Bana movie, like for real, for real.
Damn, that's almost painful.
Speaking of Howard the Duck, they're supposed to be making it.
That just goes to show you how much you don't like Eric Bana.
And I try not to say I don't like him because I don't know this man personally, but the movies that he's in, I'm just not here for it. They're also redoing what was the Nicolas Cage movie, the motorcycle guy?
Ghost Rider.
They're remaking Ghost Rider.
I hope it's rated R this time.
I hope Nicolas Cage is not in it this time.
I don't think no. They'll probably, hopefully, maybe they'll use the new guy. Damn, I can't think of his name right now, but he drives a car now. Ghost Rider drives a car now.
Well, we were like this close.
Yes, right. Who's the new Ghost Rider? Damn it.
We were like this close to getting yet another Spider-Man.
What? Like another?
Yes, Tom Holland contract ended, and they had a hard time renegotiating his contract, but finally he kind of came. They came to an agreement, and he's going to be in the I guess his third installment of Spider-Man.
Well, I guess he didn't want to be around if Robert Downey Jr. wasn't going to be in.
Now, what I'm
still not over. Y'all know I'm still not over that. I'm gonna need y'all to.
Now, who's playing?
I'm gonna need you to more.
Who's gonna play Batman in the new Justice League? Is it going to be Ben Affleck, or is it going to be Robert Pattinson in the new Justice League?
It's supposed to be Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
I did Lauren Bishop, and I'm okay with it. Like, it ain't wowing me, but I don't hate it.
Hate what?
As the Equalizer.
I like the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's okay for me.
Yeah, I just watched the last episode this morning. I had it on my DVR. I watched it. I like her. I like Queen Latifah. I like her in the role. Something about, I don't know. It's something. The show is missing something.
It's something is not quite gelling. Yeah, that's how I am with it. Like, I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna support it, but it's something that's not quite clicking for me. I don't know what to put my finger on, but it's something that's not quite there.
I think for me, it's her trying to play the tough kind of Marine.
My suspension of disbelief. I'm still working on it with this as it relates to Equalizer, Queen Latifah in it.
And let's be clear, Queen Latifah is not the best actress in the world. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna put it out there. I like Queen Latifah, but she ain't the best actress in the world. Like, it is what it is. They said this Ben Affleck in the Justice League. It's gonna be Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is wrong?
Something's just missing. And again, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna support it. It's just something's missing for me. Something.
Yeah, I like the storyline. I like that. But it is something about her trying to play this elite squad, whatever.
It's something. I'm trying to. Yeah, I watched it, and I said I watched it, and I definitely watched it. I just kind of cut the TV off and went and did something else. Like, I didn't have any. I didn't have any thoughts. I didn't have any thoughts about it or nothing. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I watched something else interesting. Queen Sugar's back.
Yes. Love Queen Sugar. Now, you gonna watch Delilah? Are you gonna watch about a maker, the people who did Greenleaf?
I didn't even see the last season. So is it tied? Is it a spinoff from Greenleaf? Or
I don't think it's a spin because it doesn't even have the same people. So I don't think it's a spinoff. Okay. It does have Jill Marie, the one from Girlfriend.
Jill Marie Jones.
Jill Marie Jones, yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah. A new show coming on called Delilah.
Okay.
That's supposed to come where the girl, I forgot her name because I didn't really watch Girlfriends. I forgot her name, her character name on Girlfriends. But it seems like it's two lawyers who are best friends or good friends coming up, and some case comes along, and they're pitted on opposite sides of the case.
Yeah. It looks like they're gonna be dealing with whatever's going on with the case and also their relationship and the connection of the two. So.
Yeah. And it's like one is the I got the corporate lawyers and everything behind me, and the other one saying she's probably the will of the people and she's the grassroots.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the one with the money thinks, oh, I always come on top. So so we'll see. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's some other show that I picked up watching this season. I can't think of the name of it. That I have to think about it. But there are some good shows that are on right now. And I'm glad for it, since we're all kind of in the house still. And I like to take that some shows have returned. Some shows I watch.
Her name was Tony on Girlfriend.
Tony. She was the one that got put on. I like how some shows have tied the pandemic into their storyline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of shows are doing that, and even if they're not specifically speaking on the pandemic, you see it in the show. You see people wearing masks. You see shields up. You see things being incorporated. That's just our new reality, y'all. That's just our new norm. That's just our new norm. Oh, you know what? Personal Interest was cool until like the last two seasons. The last season, they really lost me. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Person of Interest. That's the one with that Taraji P. Henson was on.
Yeah. Before she
Yeah.
went to before Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I heard it was good. I
watched it, but again, that last season just was sort of weird. Like I don't know what they did with that last season. It was sort of weird to me. But what's the other show? Missing Person. No, Cold Case. Cold Case used to be my Cold Case. That used to be my show.
I never watched Cold Case live. I watched Cold Case in reruns, like on TNT or something.
Yeah,
I never saw it in order. It was good.
Yep. I was mad when that show went on. That used to be my show. All right, y'all. We can ready to get off of here, but it's been 2 hours. But I appreciate y'all for being here, hanging out with us, engaging in the conversation.
What episode we on?
To my, I don't even know.
Episode 5. We're gonna say 5. We're gonna say 5 and go on from there.
Thank you to my co-host for being here. I'm happy to see you guys.
We should do this more often.
Right. Well, hopefully we can do it next weekend. I don't know what everybody's schedule is looking like, but please let me know as soon as possible if you are available so we can put it down. Okay, I'm available next Saturday, so y'all let me know if y'all are available next Saturday, and then we'll put it in paper. Put it in paper.
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah, I would say far as right now, yes, noon is a good time. Well, I say 12:30 next Saturday.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here.
I do want to say just for next week, put a food in thought for those who watch Housewives of Atlanta.
Okay.
And so the whole quote unquote bachelorette party for Cynthia, and in last week's episode, the bachelor party has now made a headline in one of the papers, even though the agreement kind of was what happens at the bachelor party stays at the bachelor party.
Right.
So if you watch the show, I just want people's thoughts on how Kenya handled the situation of the infamous stripper gate.
Okay, we can definitely talk about that next week. Yes.
So it's not necessarily about the show; it's about how she handled the situation and how she went about it.
Did this mean I had to watch the show?
No. I mean, we can give you the Cliff Notes version. No, not at all.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they had a bachelorette party. A stripper came. He didn't leave immediately. He didn't leave until the sun came up the next morning. In her mind, and they had all made this agreement that what they did there was no judgment. It was a no judgment zone, and what happened at the bachelor party stayed there. She came out in the middle of the night, thought she heard in her mind noise somebody was having 2 or 3 people having sex, and then the rest of the time she spent trying to interrogate everybody to find out who slept with the stripper. And it's like, why? And she made the rest of the trip.
We'll talk about that next week. Yeah. Definitely. We can definitely put that on the agenda. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Mwah. Appreciate y'all so much.
All right, everyone. Stay safe.